For sure.
Real talk. Oh, what is up, everybody? We're back. It's been a minute. But look, I got to tell you, there's been a lot going on. Aside from football, aside from everything like that, the past 2 weeks have been ridiculous. I went to WrestleMania. Dustin, what's up, by the way? Shout out to Dustin. We got Raider Room chilling in the green room right now, just waiting, ready to go, ready to make his Real Talk debut. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about WrestleMania. So
what's happening?
I was down in WrestleMania. It was dope. Went to SmackDown, WrestleMania, Raw, all that shit, right? Homage hooked up some dope tees. Now, this is one of their tees for the Raiders, NFL Blitz. It's got my boy Bo Jackson on there. But they've got some dope stuff. You go and check out the socials. It's got all the content on there. The link should be in the bio. Get yourself a little discount. Get yourself some nice tees. Quality stuff, great stuff, highly recommended. That said, I'm not going to talk too much about that because this is a lot of Raider stuff going on. We got a lot of football to talk about. And before we do that, let's bring Raider Room into the room and let's get him going.
Let's just. Oh, what's going on?
Oh, look at that! I got a big screen. You guys got two little ones. Let's see if we can make you guys a little bit.
It's only right. It's your show.
Raider Room, what's good, man? How you doing, dude?
Happy to be here, man. I'm a little nervous, but I'm happy to be here doing it with you guys.
Man, happy to have you here.
Appreciate
Get the nerves out.
That template's not going to work, so we're just going to go here. And you're not kidding, King.
No, I am not.
Let's just do this. We are going to we're having some technical drama here because it's been a while. So, here, anyways, Raider Room, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, let everybody know who you are while I'm getting this shit figured out.
Yeah, man, I'm Anthony, better known as the Raider Room, and I've been a fan for the last 23 years. Love the team, and I'm just hoping for better days. That's it.
Yeah.
Sound like the rest of us, brother. Sound like the rest of us.
Yeah. And then Dustin, obviously, we got you here. I'm gonna roll this way. This is a little easier to work with. But Dustin, we got you here. Everybody knows you, the Raider way. This is Real Talk. We were supposed to go live at 6, but I heard somebody was going live at 6, so I wanted to make sure that I didn't interfere with their time. So we are here a little bit later at 6:30. Real Talk. Actually, I was sitting in traffic and I got no other excuse. But look, there was a lot of shit happening around the league, just around the league in general. But the Raiders are making some moves, a ton of moves offensively. Not a lot of moves defensively, which obviously does frustrate a lot of Raider fans. But I think one of the things that we look at, though, is there's been some changes at quarterback, right? Derek's gone, Jimmy's in, and people are kind of beside themselves. People are like, well, what do we do? How do you get, how do you go from Carr to Jimmy? And I think the thing is, it's not really so much of an upgrade, right? It's a lateral move, but it's a guy who knows the system. It's a guy who had success with McDaniels, a guy who has had some success in the league. Obviously, he's had great defenses to back him up, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. That said, Jimmy is our quarterback, so this is a Jimmy G Stan account now. But comment section, I want to see you guys get active. But at the same time, guys, what are your takes on the new quarterback?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's a very lateral move, but the only increase, the only positive I'm seeing is that he does have experience in the system. He sat behind Brady for a few years. That's got to count for something.
Yeah.
it's definitely a familiarity move. And from what I understand and what we've seen in a few different reports, there was a lot of headbutting going on between Carr and McDaniels, in terms of Derek would try and be discussing something. I think Hondo Carpenter said this in one of his articles. He said Derek would be trying to discuss something with Josh, and Josh would say, just run the play. So there wasn't a lot of give and take there, where I think that's kind of what needs to happen between a quarterback and his coach. But, you've got Jimmy now. He knows the system, and I think in his press conference, he said it's like going from Spanish to French, so it's going to take a little bit of getting used to again, but I think he'll step into it. And as long as he can stay upright, that he may give him a fair chance.
Yeah, and the thing is, with Spanish to French, it's still a love language. So it's all Latin based. So if you can understand Spanish, you can understand French, you can understand Italian. It's not like reading, learning Mandarin, like Tay said when he came over. What do you think, A-Train?
I mean, he's a pretty similar player, I would say. It's not an upgrade, like you say, but he has that familiar, he's been in the system for a couple years. It allows us to address defense, maybe not so much this offseason like we were hoping, but once all that dead cap comes off, we're going to be able to add more players on defense. And I mean, we'll still be able to compete with him as long as he stays healthy. That's the main thing.
Mm-hmm. And, talking about defense, you got 12 picks in the draft. The Raiders pick at 7. I personally don't want to see the Raiders stay put at 7. I'd like to see them move up, draft CJ Stroud. I've been very vocal about that. I think that Raiders need to look at developing their own guy instead of bringing in a free agent. I think that Jimmy's a bridge quarterback. Hopefully he comes in and does what a bridge quarterback is supposed to do and bring the team to the playoffs and hopefully get us on track. But that's what you look at is you look at bringing in a quarterback on a rookie contract, somebody who can, be the face of the franchise, somebody who can be that guy who's going to lead the team, somebody who's going to be able to stand up to the other, Titan in the division in Patrick Mahomes. That guy down in LA, look, what is it? Haircuts and OxyClean. It doesn't really bother me, but we got just another DJ saying that DJ or Jimmy doesn't really move the needle. No, it's not. It's about building the coaching staff. It's about building the franchise. It's about kind of growing, building everything up. People have been complaining about the Raiders being the Patriots of the West. Well, look, if that means bringing 6 titles over to the organization, I will take being the Patriots of the West. I don't see how people are so adverse to bringing in people who have had success, right?
I agree.
Like if Andy Reid was out there, would you not want Andy Reid to be your head coach?
It's a good point.
If Bill Belichick was available, would you not want? Yeah, right. So, why are people adverse to success?
I think it's because of where the success is coming from. I don't think it's necessarily that they're adverse to success. They're adverse to where that success is supposedly stemming from, right?
So
we're
what
all
if it
a little
comes full
sore
circle?
about. Well, yeah, I mean, it could come full circle, and that could make things better, right? I mean, that puts a little bit of a Band-Aid on the situation.
Speaking of Band-Aids, I saw a car today on the freeway that had a literal Band-Aid put on a dent. A literal
Band-Aids fix
Band-Aid.
everything.
Band-Aids do fix everything. So I will take a Band-Aid for the organization. I mean, come on.
John Q, what's up, man?
We got some shit to talk about though. So the news has come out. You've got, Jimmy G. You still have Josh Jacobs, who obviously was put on the franchise tag. Hopefully the Raiders can get something done with him. And then you have the Raiders wide receiver room, which looks like a crowded elevator right now. I mean, literally, we thought the car the Uber that Carr and Renfro and Tay and all them took was tight. Imagine this wide receiver room in a Hunter Renfro ordered Uber. It wouldn't work. What do you guys see from this wide receiver room? I mean, these guys are all guys that can play the slot. You got Philip Dorsett, who's the speed guy, which the Raiders were lacking last year. Who moves the needle the most for you right now?
I don't know. I think I'm going to defer to Anthony on this one. I think I want to hear his thoughts on it.
I mean, it really depends if we're keeping Renfro. I like Carter. I really do like the fact that he keeps him fresh when it comes to returning the ball. Because Renfro, he seemed pretty timid last season, so it kind of scares me seeing him out there so much on special teams.
Yeah.
The special teams aspect is sketchy. I mean, let's not forget, dude got rocked against the Cardinals. Took him out for how many weeks? 5 weeks with a concussion. I mean, he got rocked. So yeah, I'd be coming back a little skittish. He's not a big dude.
No, and he's not. I mean, he's an insurance salesman. He's not like he's an insurance salesman who's athletic. You know, but the kid's tough. The kid's tough, and the kid can play. I think adding Danny Amendola really helps him. I think if he stays in the return game, I think that it helps him on the punt return. There's obviously there's some more rules around the kick game that are going to help the returners a little bit better. But this, like I said, this is a deep wide receiver room. There's a possibility that I could see Hunter Renfrow getting moved. I don't want him to, but I could see that happening. Depending on what the packages are. The Arizona Cardinals are a team that's looking for a wide receiver, and they have the number 3 overall pick. And I think that's kind of where the Raiders want to be right now. So there's some packages that can be put together. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to see Hunter go, but whatever. There's the Raiders have added on defense. They've brought in some guys that kind of fit. I guess what Patrick Graham's looking to do. There's still 2 glaring needs right now. There's still a cornerback need and there's a defensive tackle need. What are some ways that the Raiders can fill those defensive tackle needs right now, Dustin?
I mean, obviously, I think you said it earlier, 12 picks in the draft, you can get a lot of defensive tackles. And it's a pretty deep defensive tackle draft this year. I mean, obviously everyone wants Jalen Carter. There's been conflicting reports of they're in, they're out. Who really knows at this point? Everything's smoke. I think your best option, I think, though, is to draft a young guy that you can develop. You can teach him. Okay, this is how I want you to play this system. You're not going to pull in somebody that has preconceived notions of how to play the system. But you've got a guy that you can coach up, and you can fit him to exactly what you need. I mean, obviously, free agency is a nice way to supplement, but that shouldn't be the way that you build your roster.
Absolutely,
it gets very expensive that way.
Anthony, I want to take Reggie McKenzie's draft book. Like, I just want to steal his draft book and see what defensive tackles he has on there. Because if we look at past success, Reggie McKenzie has done a tremendous job of drafting defensive tackles, wouldn't you say?
I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really remember any big time D tackles that he took.
You got Shelby Harris, you've got Mario Edwards, you have Jelly.
Jelly.
I mean, those are all guys like they weren't big on the Raiders, but then they went off to do other things. Shirley Calhoun. Who else?
I think that's a coaching issue. I think that's a big time coaching issue.
So as far as coaching goes, Raiders have had some coaching changes. So those are all things that we look at, right? How do we hone this in? How do they get things together? What do you realistically look at the Raiders doing throughout the rest of free agency? Because they've added a lot of offense, not a lot of defense. Do you think it's going to be fulfilled through the draft, or do you think that they're waiting on some guys that have been sitting around, these veteran guys that are out there that don't really want to sign a deal right now because they don't want to go through OTAs, and you've got guys that want to just wait until right before camp? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, no, you go ahead, man. I'll follow you up.
Well, I lost my train of thought right now.
It's all good. No, I think they you've got the guys that are going to want to hang out and not going to want to go through OTAs. Your vet guys that have been around. You're definitely there's a giant thing that needs to be happening. There's a lot of restructuring that needs to happen because I think they're sitting at about $3.5 million left.
Yeah.
In cap space. So there's a lot of restructuring that needs to go on. Biggest candidate being Chandler Jones, I think.
Yes.
I think he definitely needs to consider a restructure at his current pay scale. and or retirement. Yeah. I think there's a lot of money that can be saved there that could be used elsewhere. So I think it's going to be a lot of addressing it through the draft.
Yeah.
And then figuring out where you can fill some gaps with who's left on the free agency pool.
Drafting properly. I think that's the biggest thing is drafting properly, something the Raiders haven't done in decades.
Wouldn't restructuring him push money back and put him on our books for next year when we can easily move on from him after this year?
Or they could restructure it to make it a more of a
incentives,
a signing bonus or incentive based contract. Then they can make it manipulate the money that way.
Basically, the salary cap is not an actual thing.
It's not a real number. I mean, look at the Rams.
Look at the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Rams, the Chiefs. I mean, how do these guys consistently pull these top tier players that are commanding $10 million a year and just stacking with them? On signing bonuses.
Exactly. Let's get to the chat here. We have we also need linebackers that can play downhill. We need linebacker. The one linebacker that we had that could play downhill is gone.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Houston.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome, D'Amico Ryans, where Perryman's probably going to be even better than where he was in Las Vegas.
Sure.
You've got, there's Devin White who's out there who wants a contract. He's the guy who can play downhill. Should have taken him at 4, but that's. Look, I'm not.
We don't want to go there.
He can't really cover though.
He can't really cover. I mean, his coverage skills aren't great, but he's a guy that can play downhill. He's probably going to go somewhere where he's going to get the money that he wants. The problem is we're not going to give him that money. So
no, Ziegler's too. I won't say that he's cheap, but he's pretty shrewd with how he hands out his money. I feel like you're seeing some of these contracts that maybe the Jacoby Myers one I thought was a little rich.
Yeah, but then you get Juju getting the same money over in New England.
Exactly. So it's kind of a strange situation with Ziegler because it's like he'll dole it out to somebody, but then somebody you think could fill a spot, he's a little less inclined to give it to him.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to One Nation Fan. He's got some new hats for me. He makes the hats for the big dudes too. I like that. You give One Nation Fan a follow. They've got some dope stuff out there. I haven't seen you in a while, Johnny. You can definitely text me to make sure I have the same number. I got the same number. I haven't talked to you. I hope you're doing well. Shout out to the chat. You guys are mighty quiet today.
Yeah, man, we gotta get this thing going.
Everybody is mighty quiet. What's up? What's Blackout Division? There he is. What's up, Cody?
What's up?
Yo, Blackout Division, we've got a lot of fire coming out this season. Just wait. There's a lot of information that I would love to share with everybody that I cannot yet, but I can tell you right now, it's going to be insane. So if you guys are ready for the season, get ready for the season. It all starts with the draft party at Barcode Burgers in Las Vegas. If you guys are there, make sure you check it out. They got a great burger. I mean, they got a great slate of burgers. I saw Barcode Cody, not Raider Cody, actually Saints Cody, who is now the new Derek Carr Stan account. He was given a sneak peek of the 420 burger. I mean, look, it's got a donut, it's got peanut butter, it's got jelly, it's got bacon, it's got cheese. This thing is made for 420. So make sure you check them out and make sure you guys are down at Barcode Burgers anytime. But for the draft, it's a free draft party all 3 days. You've got Happy Dad down there. You've got Woodson Whiskey, which I got a pretty good announcement coming for them pretty soon. You've got a lot of top players out there. I think Residency, who you're rocking right now, they'll all be out there. So make sure you get out there.
That's right.
Yeah. So draft is coming up. We got some dope stuff coming. Blackout events are going to be going crazy. If you guys didn't see last year, we have the night before event. We have the party bus. We've got the tailgate. I mean, people are putting in work. And shout out to Raider Cody for getting everything organized and for putting up with everybody's different personalities and everybody's bullshit, because we got a lot of big personalities to work with. So that's exciting.
Big personalities is one way to put it.
Yes,
There's a
sir.
lot of personality in that group.
Got one here. We will not overpay for players. Trust the front office will build from the draft like you were supposed to. That's what I want to happen. I want to draft properly. I want the Raiders to draft properly. Raider Room, if Stroud is available at 3, move it to 3 or draft. Let's go. Let's talk about that.
I mean, Stroud is a guy. Like he's a gamer, and I think he's worth jumping up to 3 for. He's one of those guys that you just I wouldn't say generational, but he's damn good.
Yeah.
He's probably the only guy I'm trading up to 3 to get if I'm Dave Ziegler.
Yeah. I mean,
and I think that might be it because wasn't he just at the facility for a top 30?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah. I believe he was just at the facility. They had Anthony Richardson. People got on me for saying AR-15 and he doesn't like it. So
yeah.
Apparently now people care that quarterbacks don't like things for the Raiders that aren't even on the team. Now it's okay. Now it's okay to say.
Remember the NBA when they were calling Andre Kirilenko AK-47?
Yeah.
You can't do that anymore?
No, he doesn't like it. But I'm sure that there's going to be some group out there that finds it offensive.
I agree.
There's groups for everything.
Everybody's offended by everything. Like I'm offended right now that my daughter is standing in front of me while I'm doing a live podcast and trying to move a treadmill in a box, staring at me like a puppy that wants to go outside. When I told her just give me 45 minutes. It's only been 21 minutes into the pod, and she's just sitting there staring at me. It's hilarious.
You know what offends me is that blue and gold sign over your head there. You need to. Yeah.
Dustin here is a Kings fan. Congratulations,
drought, baby.
Congratulations to the Sacramento Queens for breaking their 16-year drought, only to face the Warriors in round 1.
I'll take that game. I will take that game.
Yeah, you guys might take one game. You guys might take one.
Saying, I think it's gonna go 6.
You think it's gonna? I'm gonna say 5.
5.
I think you guys will get to light the beam one time, and then that's about it. Hey, woo!
Oh, Hefe, dude. Bro, okay, well, we got the messages going. We got it going, man. You're gonna say 4. Oh, you think it's gonna be 4? You're not even gonna give me 1?
Sweep.
This guy.
Sweep.
Hey, don't sleep on the Lakers. Don't sleep on the Lakers.
Oh,
the Lakers still have to make it past the play-in.
They will.
They got to make it past the play-in. They got to see which LeBron they're going to get. Are they going to get the LeBron that wants to play? Or are they going to get the LeBron that is just going to read the first page of every book ever written? Because, I don't know. Ben slept on lamb.
That D'Lo trade saved their season though.
Hey.
Sorry.
Get up, bro.
I was sleeping on him.
You sleeping?
I was sleeping on him.
He knocked out. Like
hey, let me go into the bedroom, grab my CPAP mask so I can just get some actual restful sleep because I've been slept on the lake. I'm just messing with you. But guys, we've got a lot that's coming up. We got a lot that we got going on. I got these kids that are going crazy, so I'm gonna drop out a little bit early. But everybody, make sure you guys go follow the Raider Room. Make sure you guys go follow the Raider Way. Dustin, let's get that YouTube up so we can get you running. Let's get that.
I know,
rolling.
Bro.
Go follow. Pushing. Go follow him. I heard you giving a giveaway, right?
Yeah. We're working on something. Just gotta get the follower count before we can get something going. But I'll figure something out.
Let's get it. Anthony, appreciate you coming on. Everybody, we'll see you guys soon.